I push the plate away and stare at the scale. The number hasn't moved. I sigh and say out loud, I'm eating less. I'm working out. So why is nothing changing? That's the moment many people hit. You're doing everything you think is right, but your body refuses to let go of fact. And here's the uncomfortable truth I had to face myself. Most rapid weight loss methods don't just burn fat, they burn muscle too. And once muscle drops, metabolism slows, hunger increases, and the rebound begins. So I started digging deeper. I asked, is there a way to lose fat quickly without sacrificing lean muscle? That question led me to a very structured, very aggressive, but very interesting approach. And when I first saw the numbers, I actually paused and said, wait, this sounds too fast to be real. Because the idea is simple but extreme. Drastically reduce calories, keep protein very high, and keep carbs and fats very low. When I first heard that, I thought, wouldn't that just make me weak? But surprisingly, the science behind it suggests something different. Here's what happens. When protein intake stays high, the body gets a steady supply of amino acids. That signals don't break down muscle. At the same time, calories are low enough that stored fat becomes the primary energy source. So instead of sacrificing lean tissue, the body is pushed toward fat metabolism. I remember reading about this and thinking, so you're telling me I can create a big calorie deficit, but still protect muscle? That's what caught my attention. And then another effect shows up: reduced hunger. High-protein meals tend to increase satiety hormones, so even though calories are low, cravings often drop. That's the opposite of most crash diets. Now, let me be clear, this isn't a casual lifestyle. This is more like a short-term intervention, but the reason people talk about it is because of how quickly things change. Within days, water retention drops, bloating reduces, appetite stabilizes, and the scale begins to move faster than usual. I remember imagining someone saying, okay, but fast weight loss always comes back. And normally I would agree, but the key difference here is muscle preservation. When muscle stays intact, metabolic rate is better maintained. That's a big deal. Another thing that surprised me was blood sugar stability. When carbs are very low, insulin spikes decrease. That often means fewer energy crashes. I've heard people describe it as, I expected to feel exhausted, but my energy actually felt steady. Of course, that depends on hydration and electrolytes, which become very important. And that's where things start to escalate, because this approach isn't just about eating less, it requires precision. Protein becomes the focus of every meal. Vegetables are selected carefully. Fats are minimized. Portions are structured. It's disciplined. At this point, you might be thinking, this sounds intense. And you're right, it is. But that's also why it's typically used for short periods when someone wants faster results. The trade-off is intensity for speed. Before we go further, if you're finding this breakdown helpful and you want more science-based health content explained in simple terms, take a second to like this video. It really helps more people discover it, and it tells me you want more content like this. Because coming up next, we're going to talk about the actual daily structure, what this approach looks like in practice, what people typically eat, and the surprising benefits that go beyond just weight loss. And some of those benefits might actually change how you think about dieting entirely.